Good morning, 6th grade. Welcome to your Art 6 virtual handbook. This video is going to walk you through your virtual art handbook to discuss the class grading procedures, expectations, and just overall guidelines. Please make sure you pay extra attention to the video and you watch the whole thing to the end to make sure that you understand everything that's related to the course. And I'm going to fly through this as fast as I can. I'm not going to read everything verbatim, I promise. All right, so going down to the first page, the art mission statement is here. You can pause the video and read it if you want, but the main thing I want to discuss is this quote at the bottom here. It says that you don't need to consider yourself a good artist to succeed in my class. You just need to try your best and everything else will fall into place. So I know that some students enter an art course and they already come with the notion that they don't like art, or it's too tough, or it's frustrating for them, or they don't think that they're good at art. As long as you do the work, you will succeed in my class. I promise you that. I've had students who are very high in their artistic ability and haven't done the work and have done poorly in the class, whereas the student next to them isn't as strong in their artistic ability, but they do all the work and they get an A or a B. So hopefully that in and of itself is a perfect example as to how you can do well in my class. You just have to do the work. All right, so please don't think that you're not going to do well because you don't consider yourself a good artist. Moving forward, your art course objectives or description is that basically we're going to explore different materials and learn how to design different artworks. We're also going to be learning how to interpret art, how to develop studio habits, how to prepare art for presentation, and focusing on the planning and process. All those things we're going to be doing in this course. So as far as the course timeline, you have 5 general units that we actually complete every day. So you see where it says ongoing on the right. This stuff we do every day, whether you are having good studio practice, you're presenting your artwork, you're analyzing and interpreting, you're planning your artwork, or you're just exploring different tools. The units to look for that we're actually completing for project grades and assignments are drawing from observation, narrative art, and art activism. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to jump to the Schoology page so you can see what these units look like firsthand, and I'll give you a brief overview of what they are. So the drawing from observation, I renamed it a still life drawing because you're going to assemble some objects from around your house or your room, images that you can relate to, and you're going to set them up in a still life in an arranged position, and you're going to draw them the best you can in proper proportion, scale, and also showing value, which is not money, the worth of something, but an art value means shading or the change from light to dark. So you can see in this video of the book and the teacup and the glasses that the artist has shaded with a pencil to show the shadows and where the light is coming from. So that's your first unit. After that, you're going to be able to get a lot more creative with your narrative art unit. Also, please ignore the dates. The dates obviously aren't going to refer to you, but you're going to basically create an artwork that tells a story. A narrative is a story. So you're going to think of a memory or an event that you were a part of that had a positive impact on you, and you're going to tell that story through your artwork. All right, so moving forward, last but not least, we have art activism. Art activism is similar to narrative art, where you're using your illustrations, your art itself, to convey a message or an idea, but you are going to be focusing on a problem in today's world, whether it be, like in this image, using pesticides in food, whether it's pollution, it's poverty, it's the COVID-19 pandemic, anything that's happening in today's world, you can create an artwork about it to raise awareness to the viewer so that they can see that there's a problem in today's world, and for you to also show how it can be fixed and why it's a problem. So those are your 3 units. I'm going to jump back to your handbook itself, which is down here. There we go. All right, so there's your 3 units. They'll each be about about 6 or 7 days long. So your class behavioral expectations are pretty basic. I'm going to let you guys read through that on your own if you want to or need to. Basically, just enter the class quietly, raise your hand if you have any questions, and of course, just sit at your seat so we can get started with the class as fast as possible. Now, the important thing to discuss is that right now with the virtual or the hybrid schedule, you're at home 3 days a week, you are going to complete all your assignments in Schoology. So it's very important to understand what those assignments are and how to submit them. So I'm actually going to jump down. I need to reverse the order here. I'm going to go to number 2 where it says entrance tickets. Every day you're going to be given 2 questions worth 2 points, so 1 point per question. that are going to relate to the PowerPoint video or the PowerPoint slides for the unit. So for example, the slides themselves go over the vocabulary and how to apply the vocabulary in your project. So if you had a question, value, what is value? And then the second question is, how can you apply value in your artwork? You would answer both those questions, and you could look back to that PowerPoint for help. It's meant to be an easy 2 points to boost your grade, and that's how you're going to start every class. And after you've done your entrance ticket, then the rest of the class will be will be devoted to completing your actual coursework for your project. So you come in, you do your entrance ticket for a few minutes. This again will all start on Monday, but you will do that and then spend the rest of the class just working on your project for at least 30 minutes. Technically, you're supposed to be in class for about 80 minutes or something like that, but if you're showing me sufficient progress, you really, went from one step the day before and really took it to the next level the next day, that's what I'm really looking for. But overall guidelines, about 30 minutes. And then when you're done working, you take a picture of your work and you submit it to me on Schoology so I can A, help keep you on track for the assignment. B, it allows me to provide you some feedback so that you know how you're doing on the project and what improvements, if any, you would need. And also C or 3, I can't remember whether it was in numbers or letters there. It actually shows the progression throughout the entire unit. So by the end, I can see how you started and how you finished the project. So for all those reasons, that's important. So you have an entrance ticket, you have a daily photo of your artwork. Those are the 2 main things worth 5 points. And then you have your art project. The art project is broken down into 5 criteria. Now, I mentioned in the very first slide or the very first page that you don't need to be a good artist to do well in my class, and this should prove that to you. The skills and objectives basically mean whether you followed the lesson objectives. If I asked you to draw a still life and you tried your best and you added value and shading, you'll get the 20 points. It's not that hard. You don't need to be a good artist to get those 20 points. Just do what's asked of you. Second, the craftsmanship. Craftsmanship is the quality of production. It's not just staying in the lines for coloring. It's also making sure paper's not rippled or ripped, wrinkled, torn. There's no holes in it. Again, you're staying in the lines. You're not spilling any food or anything on it. Just the quality. And again, you don't need to be a good artist. You just need to try. There's a very obvious difference between someone who is taking their time and being careful with the work and someone who's rushing through it. So please make sure you take your time. So again, everybody in every project should start off with an A+ or 100% on their skills, their craftsmanship. And the composition is how you arrange the whole artwork. The best advice I can give students is to basically fill the entire paper. You don't want to leave any empty background, any negative space. You want to fill as much of that paper as you can. And again, you don't need to be a good artist to do that. So here you have 3 of your 5 criteria. Everybody should get a 20 to 20 no matter what. Do people get less than that? Yes, but again, that comes back to their time and effort. But as long as you're really trying, you should be fine. Now, for the last 2, detail and originality, I'm looking for you to go above and beyond to get those 20 points. A lot of people will get a 15 in these categories. To get the 20 for detail, you need to go above and beyond the level of detail that's expected. So if you just do what's expected, you might get the 15. But if you really want to get that A or the 100%, then you really need to put that extra time and effort to add the extra line, color details, maybe even details in the space in the background. And then lastly, originality. You want the project to be completely your own, something that no one else can create. And that actually leads me to something I never thought I'd have to discuss in an art class, but because we have a virtual format, I did actually have a student in 8th grade try to plagiarize an artwork he found online. He just copied the picture and submitted it as his own. Because we're an online format, that's a new temptation that students couldn't do before. You either created it in person or you didn't. So just so you know, that student, they had a high B. They were given a 0 out of 100 for the plagiarizing. I had to call home. I had to call the principal. It was kind of a big deal, or it was a big deal. So please make sure you're not tempted by that. Not that I would expect that from anyone, but please make sure your artwork is yours and yours alone. And please do not plagiarize another peer's artwork or something you found online. All right, so those are your 5 criteria. Again, you don't need to be a good artist to do any of it, but that is how I grade your projects. You'll also have learning logs, which we'll get into later in class, but there were 28 points. It's basically just a reflection of your project. So after you're done creating the project, you just write about your thoughts on the project, how you created it, why you made your decisions, and there's also a vocabulary section as well. And then the fifth and final assignment that I grade you on are your class critiques. Basically on day 4, about halfway through the unit, you'll be critiquing another peer's artwork. So art is not just about the production of the work, it's also about learning how to view the artwork, how to interpret it, and how to discuss it, and give basically positive, objective feedback. So it's part social and analyzing art, and it's also the production. So those are the five rules for the five assignments you do in class. Sorry guys, it's early and doing a lot of these videos. So the class rules here, the COVID-19 protocols. The main thing I want to talk about is you all should have been given a bag of art supplies in your homerooms earlier this year. And if you did not, just let me know and I can get you those supplies when you come into school. But they are yours and yours to keep, but I do ask that you only use them in class and you don't use them for anything outside of class until the course is over in 4.5 weeks. The reason for that is we want to make sure there's no cross-contamination between materials, that you're the only ones using it. So for your safety and the safety of others, please make sure that you are the only ones using the supplies and that they are also in your bag every day before you come to school, because you're going to need them in class to do your work. So please don't forget those. The rest of the stuff, just basically stay in your seat at all times. You guys should know the drill for this by now. Wear your mask during class. Follow school protocols when transitioning between classes. And then you have your language. You guys all know how to use profound language. I never expect that from any of my students, so I'm not even going to get into it. But that little blurb is there as one of the class rules. Of course, we clean up at the end of every class. I'm going to let you guys pause the video and read through this as you want. Obviously, try to maintain a reasonable volume in class and raise your hand. You guys are allowed to talk and be social and have fun with your friends while you work, but just make sure you're not at a disruptive level because you want everyone to be able to focus. Materials, please make sure all materials are used safely and respectfully. They're for your use only, like we already said, and also you need to be safe when using them. Here's the Carlisle grading scale, and that's basically it. Right here, though, it's basically I do want you all to get A's and B's in the class. This class was designed for your success. You just need to put the work into it. So I ask that you guys at least give me the benefit on that, and you try your best for the first. Well, you should try your best for the whole course, no matter what, in every course, but. Really give it a strong chance the first week, and then you should see you're graded as an A or B to prove my point. So as long as you do the work and you check in every day, you'll be fine. So this is basically the end of the slideshow or the video. There is a section at the bottom to kind of discuss the course navigation if you want to look at the read only and go through that. But at the end of this video in a few minutes, you'll just go to the student handbook assignment and you will say that you agree or you understand the class rules and grading procedures. If you don't, please message me and I can discuss or clarify anything that may not be clear. But please go to the student handbook agreement and say that you watch this video and that you will follow the class rules and procedures. One quick thing before I end the video, I am going to go back because we talked about course navigation. I found out from my last rotation of students that they were clicking on the assignments on the right-hand column of their Schoology page where it says upcoming assignments. If that works for other classes, that's fine, but I highly advise, let me rephrase that. I ask that you please click on these folders in the middle, because if I were doing my still life drawing next week, I want to click on that folder, because here I have my lesson overview, I have my due date for the assignment, all the steps, and how I'm going to grade you. This is obviously incomplete, but it won't be on Monday. And then each day for the course pops up, and you click on the day, and all of the videos, all the documents, all the stuff that's there for you to look at and read through is right there. They're all the resources you'll need. Where if you only click on the assignments that need to be done on the right-hand column, then you're missing out on all those resources. You're not going to be developing that full understanding for the project. So please just make sure you click on those center folders and not the folders on the side. All right, guys, that basically concludes the video. If you have any questions, please let me know. And again, once you exit out of here, just complete that student handbook agreement. And I look forward to seeing you all in class and to see the great creative, fun projects that you come up with. All right, bye, everyone.